On the Level podcast, your Masonic podcast. Join the hosts Billy McIntyre and Sam Earl Sedgey as they delve into the world of Freemasonry.
Welcome, brethren, sisters, listeners, fans, to yet another episode of On the Level podcast. I'm with my worshipful brother, my brother from another mother, as some of you Americans say, Billy McIntyre, and I'm your host, Sam Earl Sedgey. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing wonderful, Sam. And yourself?
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm doing good. We just today I was talking to some of my brothers of Frank and Nickel Lodge, and on the Monday we're going to a Kroger's. We're going to be ringing the bell, and I think this ringing the bell is you ring the bell and people come and make donations. And I warned, and it's about a 4-hour thing, and we're taking 1-hour shifts. But I warned my brothers that I will not only ring the bell, but I'll also sing some Christmas carols like Merry Christmas and Jingle Bells. So I'm getting ready to sing Merry Christmas. I warned them, I say, I may break many car windows, but I will sing that song.
You dress like Santa Claus?
No, you know what? That did pass through my mind, but I was like, no, I don't have the time to get a suit. I'm just going to be in my coats and in my tracksuits and all that kind of... Because if you guys know me, when I go to lodge, whatever Masonic function it is, as long as it's like a lodge function or a formal function, I'm always dressed up, suited up. I always am. And the reason why I am, this is actually kind of interesting to talk about, is because of the temple. And the temple is the lodge, and the lodge is emblematical of the first temple of King Solomon. And if you go for the history of what that temple was, it was the temple to be close to God. So it was a holy site where the Israelites can do their devotions and their worship to God. And so for me, when I'm going into that lodge and when I am participating, to me, I'm also participating in being in a holy place of God. And so for me personally, I suit up all the time and be in my best suit as I can possibly, and have my gloves with me as well. But then it's a very English thing that I'm doing. A story was, this is a great story, it's a true story. There was, let's call him a fellow from away from, not from England. And he was a brother. And we came to United Grand Lodge of England, where in the Grand Lodge there are many lodge rooms for lodges to do their work. And we had a visitor from another country, and he came. He did all the right things and got in contact with his Grand Lodge, got in contact with United Grand Lodge, and they did all the paperwork, and he was set. And so he turns up in like a t-shirt, some trousers or a boxer short. I don't know, boxer shorts basically, and some sandals. And the very English Tyler was like, "Can I help you? What are you doing?" He's, "Oh, I'm your guest. I'm a visitor. I've come here to sit in the lodge." And he was like, "Not like that, you're not." And so the Tyler refused for this brother to go in the lodge dressed like that. So this is so English. So next thing you know, the Tyler does his knocks and opens the door, and then the brethren see the Tyler in his underwear and a t-shirt, and so saying, "I have a guest for you." And basically, the Tyler got this brother, this foreign visitor in, who wore the Tyler's suit and the Tyler's clothes, so he can go in the lodge. That is insane, and I thought that always sticks to me. I've never forgotten that story, and that shows the pride that you have in your duty, and
that's going the extra mile.
That's going, but at the end, then the brother wasn't refused. The brother that's like, "Look, I can't let you in, but we're going to get you in, but you're going to have to undress, and I'm going to have to give you my suit. Going to have to wear it to get in if you want to get in. And he did. And that's a good lesson to learn. If you're going to go to England, you're going to go to United Grand Lodge of England, suit up. And the reason why there is that rule in England, and the way it was told to me, which was actually very emblematical and profound, was the reason why you have like a black suit, white work shirts, black tie, black trousers, black shoes, black socks, was at the time in the fraternities in the 18th, 17th centuries, those were the cheapest types of suits to get because they were the most common suits to get. And so wearing that was the great leveler, because you also had a lot of powerful, rich people like lords and aristocrats and even kings, even merchants who at those times dressed exceptionally flamboyantly as they did in the Renaissance period. The way you dressed showed your station. So wearing just a black suit was a great leveler. And that's always hit home of what it was, because, we do come from all kinds of backgrounds. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes what we share, what we wear kind of shows that. And we're all supposed to meet on that level. So that's the interesting part of that. So, but in this occasion of ringing of the bells, I won't be wearing a suit. I will be singing, we wish you a Merry Christmas. I'll be singing that and Jingle Bells and having a smile. And the whole point is if you're going to stand there in the cold ringing a bell, bring a smile to someone's face. Say Merry Christmas, have a good one. I hope you have a good one. Have fun. Whatever you're doing, I said, I'll bring the coffee. From Starbucks, because I don't do Starbucks a lot, or maybe once or twice a year. So I get frustrated when I get there because I don't understand their product system. But I order whatever. They do these special Christmas coffee drinks, so I'll get one or two of those, and I'll get some donuts. A proud American tradition of donuts. So sugar and caffeine is a good mix, especially when you're in the cold and you want to have some fun.
You go in there and order Inky Pinky Autumn Drinky.
Inky Pinky Autumn Drinky.
That's something really special.
So for me, I'm looking forward to it, and the idea is you ring the bell and you're raising money for charity, and you're just doing the good work, and we will be doing a 1 hour rotation. It'll be 4 hours, and I'm kind of excited of doing it. It's not something. See, here's the other thing that's really interesting. I would have never done this if it wasn't for my lodge. I'd be like, what? I don't want to ring a bell. I don't want to do that. And I'm kind of excited because I'm going to be doing it with my brothers, and I can goof about a bit and sing some Christmas carols, which is really close to me, because every time we get to here, like this morning, with my son, I was singing, Wish You a Merry Christmas, and was teaching him how to sing the whole song. And it's a joyous period, right? This is a period of being with your family. This is a period of being merry. This is a period of renewal, and it's a period of love and kindness. And for someone who loves tabletop wargaming and is constantly doing war type of stuff, whether it's products and war music or battle music or building armies to play against his friends and all that kind of stuff, and then being into war history and all that kind of stuff, it's nice to have a more gentler season where I'm just sitting down painting miniatures and then having good festive music, and we all go Christmassy in House Sedgy, and the things that I watch religiously is The Hobbit, the extended trilogies. Every year I watch 1, 2, and 3 religiously. But enough about me ranting about Christmas. And I just want to say to everyone around the world who's listening, our brethren, sisters, listeners, whoever you may be, I want to wish you a great Christmas, a happy Hanukkah, a great New Year, and have a good time and enjoy yourselves. Be merry. It's a great festive period to warm up towards your loved ones and your close ones, and just enjoy it. And have a good one, and get ready for the next year, and be pumped about the next year, and be the best version of yourself that you can be. be the best version of yourself they can be. And that Masonic mantra, which is quite funny, Billy. I do
We
another.
probably should just end it here because it's probably the best of it's over. But I'll see what I got. I just like to say that we last night we had our Scottish Rite Christmas party, and we did have a pretty good turnout for that. We had a pretty good meal, real good meal, I should say, and the people that take care of our they do the parties for us. We have
What did you have?
certain committee.
What did you have?
Well, they fixed ribs and they fixed pulled pork.
Oh,
And they had boiled potatoes. It would have been a feast fit for Sam. It would have been good. You would have been happy. And they had a lot of food. It had been and we all ate more than we should have, and then we played some games, and they did prizes and 50-50, and they 50-50 benefited the dyslexia. We all do, Scottish Rite's big for the dyslexia fund, for the kids that has problems reading with dyslexia. So we do that
that's awesome.
every year. And yeah. And, it was a good time. We all sit around and laugh. We had a regular meeting. Of course, we don't just always have fun, but we did get together and do that. And other than that, we did have another degree with the Blue Lodge the night before. So we'll never quite get away from that. And that's good, because if we're busy, that means we're bringing in new people. And other than that, it's getting, as you said, it's getting close to Christmas time. So time to start winding down. And I think I'm about done with Masonic stuff after this podcast until after the New Year. So I'm going to spend some time with the family. And
mate, I think that's the most important thing. It's kind of like sinking in with the amazing interview we had with our right worshipful brother Angelo, who is the senior warden. Is that his official?
Yeah, senior warden.
Grand senior warden, and we did say, God, family, business, then masonry, and I think that this pivotal time is to be with your God and to be with family, to wind down, re-energize, get those batteries, recharged, and have a great time, and then we can focus on next year. And before we move over, that's actually, what we haven't done? We haven't talked about this year, the amazing journey we've had in this podcast. We haven't had a review.
Oh.
We should have a quick review, and we should have your take on the review of our 2025 and the journey we had. And all I'm going to say in our review is, it's been crazy. The amount of we have a legion of subscribers.
We started in May.
Yeah.
May 17th, I believe, was our first podcast, if I remember. And so we was going to do one a month, but that didn't last very long, And we've had, I don't know how many is going to get on. But this
one, when this one comes out, Billy, this one will be number 19, I think. Yes. So carry on. Yes.
And we have been rocking and rolling. We've had several grand officers from different states. We've had several York Rite officers. We've had Scottish Rite officers. We've had youth officers.
And these are grand officers. These are grand officers.
Yeah. And we've had wonderful history lessons. We've been blessed. God's blessed us in many ways. And I think Sam and my friendships grow tighter. We've been good friends, and we're even better friends now. I couldn't ask for anything better.
You and Herman coming down to my installation with your wives was a big deal for me. That was such a good day, and you were a big part of that. And so were the other small army of people who were there as well. But it was about a 4-hour drive for you guys, and it's just amazing. We've got a legion of subscribers now. We have a Roman legion, which is freaking awesome. We have a lot of views. I thought we would be on like 100 to 200 views tops per episode, but we're in the thousands now, and for us it's humbling because I never expected it to go like this, and it's all been very organic. It's all been this positive Freemasonic energy of let's just have fun and let's just get these guys on and talk about Freemason. There was never really a structure. It was like, what shall we do? And well, I like to talk about this, and I would like to do a series on this. What do you think? Because I've got, I do lectures on this stuff, and I think it's important. And you're like, yeah, let's do this. And then an incredible amount of people that you've brought, all these amazing people and their stories and their life stories and all the connections that are made. It's insane. It's like a huge privilege to have these people on. And Billy, he's really humble. You're really humble. The amount of work you do behind the scenes to pull everyone and bring people together and create, he's a fantastic executive producer of the podcast, and he's the one who always eggs me on, and I get distracted a lot because I'm so busy, and he always brings me back.
I gotta say though, Sam, you're the one that does the technical stuff. I don't want to hog any glory from this because you're the one that you've got all the equipment, you do all this stuff, and the guests. Yeah, I call them up, but I don't have to, just pressure anybody to come. We're lucky enough that these people, they're more than gracious to give me their time, and we've been really blessed. That's all I can say. Everybody that's come on has been so gracious to talk to us and very humble, and I don't know how we could ask for any better from any of them.
Well said. Well, I'm writing a poem, and the poem will be our preamble that I will read out in our first show in 2026 in January.
Awesome,
Billy put me to a mission to write this poem since we've hit a legion of subscribers, which we're very
1,000.
thankful. We're very thankful for. And also I've got a poem that I'm in the works. It takes me quite some time to write these poems, but once I get going. So now you've got a bit of behind the scenes. It's just good planning. I make it look easy, but it's not. And anyhow, I just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I want to wish you, your family, Billy, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I want to wish everyone in Illinois and around the world listening the same. And as tradition goes on this show, any last words, Billy?
Yes. Godspeed to all you that are Masons and will be Masons in the future. Thank you for sticking with us, and we're going to do great things yet to come. Welcome again to the On the Level podcast with your hosts, Sir Sam Earl Sedgy and Billy McIntyre. Tonight, you're on with the Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden, Angelo Deserio. Welcome, sir, and we're so glad to have you.
Oh, good evening, brother, and thank you very much for asking me to join you for this.
Absolutely.
We have been so lucky. You're the third of this current Grand Line we've had on here recently, and we are so blessed because so many of the brethren usually don't get to hear from this many of the line, and people really are responding well to it. And I think a lot of the people that aren't even Masons that are kind of curious of Masonry is really getting a lot out of these guys. So without further ado, we'd like to start out by saying, could you tell us when you become a Mason?
Yes, that was May 1st, 2004 is when I was raised as a Master Mason.
Okay. I've been seeing you around for a long time. I know you were really active with the youth, and tell us a little bit about that. Tell us how you started and what you did with the youth.
Oh, it started when my son turned old enough to join the youth. He used to. I'm a big proponent to make sure that everybody includes their family with what we do in Masonry.
Right.
Bring your family to everything that that they can attend. So I'm a big advocate of that. So anytime we had any events at the lodge or any events that was open, my son and my wife are with me always. And when my son became old enough and he wanted to join DeMolay, I took him out to Batavia because that was the closest DeMolay chapter at the time. A great chapter out there, David M. Wheeler chapter.
Right.
We went out there and he joined out there. At the age of 14, he was master counselor of the chapter.
Oh, wow.
That's
and
cool.
then once I came back to my lodge in Joliet, we talked, and our secretary there, right, Worshipful Brother Bill Thomas, told me he wanted to get the youth groups in the Joliet Temple. So
Oh, wow.
we spearheaded to get a DeMolay chapter in Joliet, and then after which when we did that, our very first initiation, we had 15 guys joining the same day.
Oh, wow.
So that was a pleasure. The state officers all came down to do the initiation. It was really a good day.
Well, that's really a pretty big chapter anyway, isn't it?
You on the books we have 38 guys on the books right now. So
Yeah. Wow.
It's a decent sized chapter. We get probably 6 to 8 guys attending meetings, which is good in today's world.
Yeah.
But so we did that, and then shortly after that, our secretary told me, he says, "Well, that's good." He says, "But now get me a Bethel."
Okay. Yeah.
So we went and there was a Bethel that met in Joliet, Bethel 48 for Job's daughters. And we reinstituted that Bethel after 8 months of planning and 8 months of discussions and work to get the advisory council and the girls and our first initiation. I think we had 8 girls get initiated.
Wow.
So that's what's really driven me to work so hard with the Masonic youth. I can honestly say it was my son who had a big part in me pushing the Masonic youth and working so diligently with the Masonic youth.
Absolutely.
That's great, though.
Yeah. So so what's really interesting, the first time I crossed and I met my right worshipful brother, Angelo, was actually in an event where I believe we just interviewed the Grand Queen, Charles Robinson's lovely daughter, and there was this huge event where there was all pirates and everything, and there's a whole thing going on. I think it was that, or there was one before that, and there was the massive turnout in Joliet, and it was a fantastic time. And what makes me smile is in one of our very early episodes, if you remember, Billy, just recently now, he's the junior past Grand Master, or the most worshipful Grand Master of the state of Indiana. He was, he's an elderly gentleman, but he was a DeMolay in the 50 plus years ago, and that was pretty inspiring. And the work that Right Worshipful Angelo does and everyone else does in DeMolay or in the Bethels, you never know when some of these boys who will become men and have become men. I have one brother who's actually an officer in my lodge. He's the junior warden, Brett Utley. He was a DeMolay boy. He's a fantastic ritualist, and he puts a lot of us other Master Masons to shame. He's young, but he's already on the line and he's committed. And I drove up with him to St. Paul's Lodge, and he had a fantastic time there at one of their stated meetings. So my question is, Angelo, and it's really nice to hear that your son and how Masonry drove you and you brought your family to the events, and then how, for me, and I'm sure it's the same to you and for many fathers, our children, especially, I only have one son, that's our life, that's our future. It's all about, the boy, and raising him well, and and also humbling them as well to make sure that they become good men. And so just explain to me, what was the impact, and in terms of father and son, the relationship you have with him now because of the time spent with him through Demolay and all these events, and that bondship that you have with your son?
My son has always, from at a young age, always been rather impressive to me. I like to say he's an old man in a young body.
Yeah.
He from being in school to when he was in college, his days in Demolay, even now his time as working in the construction industry, and him also being a district deputy in the Grand Lodge. The young man impresses me.
Oh,
He
wow.
always has. My fret always was when he was growing up. I was not around. Not because of anything bad, just because I worked construction, and I would work 6 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And the seventh day, all I wanted to do was rest and sleep. So, I never really spent any time with him as he was growing up. I owe all the credit to all the amazing, great things he does now to his mother, my beautiful bride of 30 years, of Carol.
Fantastic.
That she was always there to support him more so than I was. I supported him, and I still do support him 110%. But when he was growing up, I worked 6 12-hour days every week. So, but it brought great pride to me when he said, I want to join Demolay. And then we got him into Demolay. And then I come downstairs one day when he turned 18 years old, and he's sitting at the table filling out a piece of paper. And he said, "Dad, sign this for me." And it was his petition to join Freemasonry.
Oh, wow. What was it
So-
like? What was it like at Angelo? He's obviously he's a district deputy grand master. What was it like on his third degree? You raising him and seeing him become a master mason. That must have been a very special moment for you as a father.
It was a lot of pride. My lodge, our lodge, Madison Lodge in Joliet, gave me the honor of being able to obligate him on his first and second degree. I was not master at the time, so they let me obligate him on his first and second degree.
Oh, wow.
When he got his third degree, there were 68 Master Masons present that night.
Wow.
That's great.
To include past Grandmaster Anthony Crocco, who did Hiram, King of Tyre, and at the time, the current Grandmaster Terry Seward raised him and did his obligation.
Wow.
So there was some great pride there. Carol actually made lasagna for all of us for dinner that night.
There we go.
They changed the billboard, or the message board out in front of the lodge, to say, "Congratulations, brother Sante Deserio," when he was raised. We got pictures of all that. So it was a good night, and it was a night of extreme pride and great honor.
Yeah, and that's something that you'll keep and remember for as long as you live, I guarantee you. My son, I have, I've told everybody, and I don't think anybody that's ever known me for more than 10 minutes, my biggest regret is not joining 10 years, 20 years sooner than I did. My whole problem was nobody in my family was really Masons, but I always have worked rotating shifts. I do 7 to 3, and then I would do a month of 3 to 11. Well, I've never wanted to do anything I couldn't be active in. So I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm a history buff. And so when I started reading about, the Constitution signers and seeing these guys that was willing to put their life on the line and seeing how many of them were Masons, I thought, I want to be a part of that. Well, I always swore when my work went to where I could be active. Well, it finally did go to straight shifts. Well, then I was able to do this. Well, by that time, I'm already a pretty old man, but I still did it. And I've met such great people, and I thought, oh my gosh, I just wish I'd done this so much earlier. But I've got to make the most out of what I got now, and I'm so thrilled with it. And now, my son, I said, you got to get in on this, and he goes, yeah, I got my family, and I don't have time to do all the stuff you do. Oh yeah, I said, just do what you can, and later on you can do more. I will someday, Dad, when things calm down. And I just wish I could get through to him. Oh no, no, just do what you can now. But maybe someday you will.
And that's something that I tell a lot of the new Master Masons that are raised. I tell a lot of them, take your time and enjoy the journey. And you don't have to join everything all at once.
Right.
You've taken your first step. Let's enjoy this first step, and then we can move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'll say that's one thing that if I could go back, I would probably change. I mean, after I become a Master Mason, and it just overwhelmed me. I was so impressed and so excited. If I could join it, I have my name on the line the next day, and I joined Scottish Rite and then York Rite, and I joined the Shrine, and anything that I could find, I joined, and I was active in everything, and I was doing degree work, and I was all over the place until I just about burned myself completely out, and it didn't take that long, I was, and then trying to work, you know what I mean, and it was just, whew. And then of course your family really enjoys that. It's almost as much as you do, where they're saying, you're gone again, huh? You ever come home?
Anymore nowadays, my wife, if I'm home 2 days in a row, she'll tell me, don't you have a meeting to go to?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's, I think what you said, right, worshipful brother Angelo, go slow. I think that's something that resonates with me as well, especially this year and the next. And it's something that I always said from the very beginning. When I became, my biggest achievement, personal achievement for me, was becoming a Master Mason. That was huge. And I think the next thing that I geeked out on, and I was just happy with, was becoming a Knights Templar in the York Rite. And that was it, really. There was nothing else on my preview. Everything else was just a gift and a blessing. And my argument always was, I'm a Master Mason for life. I've got an entire life ahead of me, and enjoy every moment of it. And and also meet your obligations to your family is really important. And even that thing going slow, even in ritual, I would memorize all my words, and sometimes, and I think a lot of us do it, sometimes go a bit too fast, and I've learned to go slower and get, then I get my ritual more perfect. So in every aspect of Masonry, just going slow, and exactly what we're saying, enjoy it and have fun, and be a part of the fraternity. And there's so much that happens within the fraternity that you have a lifetime to enjoy it. So when I retire, whenever that will be, I know I won't be bored. There's so much that you can do, that you can get involved in to do. So, go slow and enjoy the camaraderie. Find your brotherhood within the fraternity, and build that brotherhood, and travel. So my question to you, because we're, one thing that Billy said, and he got it on the money. We have a fantastic grand line in the state of Illinois of ancient and free and accepted Masons, and you're part of that. And the amount of brotherly love on that state level is insane. And we'll touch base on the lasagna, because every time I think about it, that makes me hungry, because you're very famous about that. But
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sell you out here. Patrick said, if we ask you enough, you would probably make us some of your grandma's lasagna.
Oh,
and man. I said, he ain't going to bring us some. He goes, no, he'll come and make it for you. I said, what?
But the question is, the question is, give us your experience. You've been in the Grand Line for quite some time now, and it's been a privilege to watch you when you first got it, I was very happy and proud of you, and seeing you grow and go through it, and follow you, and just it's just been a joy to watch all of you guys. Give us your experience. What is it like being on the Grand Line?
It's truly an amazing experience. It really is. The brethren that we meet in our travels across the state, our travels in the other jurisdictions, the brethren that we talk to, the camaraderie, as you said, that we have in the state of Illinois is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is a beautiful thing to see how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And that's exactly what we try to do in this state, is work together to make a brighter future for everybody.
Well said.
And it's obvious that that's what's happening. And I've seen it in smaller scales. I've seen it all over the state where I've had the pleasure to be able to travel. And I'm telling you, the line that you've had the last couple of years and this year, you've got a great gel of characters. I know they're brothers, but you guys got some characters in there, and you guys get along so well. It's just awesome to see how well you guys get along, and you can joke and you can have such a good time together. And it's a pleasure to see. And when you guys are having a good time, the people around you are having a good time, and that's so good to see.
Well, we do like to joke. We do like our fun times, and there are a lot more serious times that we have to take.
Sure.
We have to take care of what we do and be good stewards of our fraternity, and we do enjoy that as well. Yes, the fun times and the laughs and the joking is part of it. We become a huge family,
Mm-hmm.
but we do take our jobs as the stewards of this fraternity when Grand Lodge is not in session to make sure that there is a future for. Let's go back to the DMLA. There's a future for our DMLAs to be here and enjoy what we call this fellowship and this fraternity.
Absolutely. And I didn't mean that in any wrong way. I
didn't take it wrong at all, Billy.
I know, but what I'm saying is I've found in my lifetime, and I'm sure you have too, when you go into a place with other brothers, they are so nervous for the most part. And if you come in there and disarm them with being kind, joking around and having a good time with those guys, even though you expect from them to do the best work they can, but you give them kindness and you're kind of joking around with them to begin with, they will give you their best work and they're relaxed. You'll get way more out of them when they're tripping over their own tongues trying to do, work that they're not, they're just too nervous. And that's what I meant. I just found that you can, disarm them with kindness where they're just relaxed and they can do their work.
Well, as you know, Billy, with being past illustrious Grand Master, anytime you walk in the room, the first any confidence that they had in their ability to do their work was gone.
Yeah.
So yes, I agree with you 100%. You do have to disarm them, and I don't mean disarm them in any negative connotation, but you do have to make them feel comfortable, relaxed, joke around with them a little bit, and we try to have our fun. Yes, our work and our ritualistic abilities, has to be first, but it doesn't have to be the only thing that we concern ourselves with.
There's a time and place for everything, in my opinion. There's a time to have a good time, and there's a time to make that ritual. You got to have that ritual to sound good, and you guys do a good job with both. That's what me and Sam was talk about all the time. We are so lucky with the group we have with you guys, and I think if you hear any of our podcasts, we've brought that up a million times. We travel a little bit ourselves, and we're proud of you. We make sure we bring that up.
And I think
thank you very much.
I think that's important because I think it's emblematical because Freemasonry, in my opinion, is building leaders. It's building leaders. It's building good men, honourable men, with honourable obligations. And even from the very humble lodge, we're building great leaders. and leadership is to me is everything. And so to have that emblematical in our leadership trickles down very, very fast, and that enthusiasm becomes infectious. And I think what both of you trying to get at in the points you're trying to make is this is a whole fraternal team effort. And there isn't point scoring. There isn't there isn't that kind of attitude. It's lifting every brother up. It's meeting and greeting and being on the level. And that's what I love about our grand officers is every time, I shake hands and say hello, we're all meeting on the level as a brother, foremost and first. And, the duties that the Grand Line have, like the duties of a worshipful master and his officers, are to serve the lodge and to serve the members of the lodge. And the greater responsibility and the burdens that you have, Right Worshipful Brother Angelo, is that burden to serve the entire state and then to do more with our fraternal brothers worldwide. So my next question is, if you had a message to our new brethren joining, and so that's the first one. What would your message to new Master Masons be? What would your message be to good men around the world? So that's number two. And thirdly, what message would it be to fathers who are interested, who have sons and are interested in getting their sons involved, the Master Masons? And for me, it's really nice. So you're not the only one. It's really nice to see so many families involved in the fraternal organisation, such as your, and it warms my heart to see your son, who's gone through Demolay, and he was raised 68 Master Masons, by jolly, oh my God, that's epic. I mean, those are kind of like things that I geek about and have. I just wish I was there now, and now he's a district Deputy Grand Master of the Grand Lodge, which is phenomenal, well deserved. And so, first of all, message to new Master Masons. The second one is the message to those who are fathers and are Master Masons and listeners of, how would you encourage them to? What is your message, and what are your words of encouragement?
So the message that I have for the newer Master Masons is, again, I'm going to say, enjoy the journey. We tend to raise our Master Masons, which is a beautiful thing. Membership across the state is on a rise. We're doing great work. We're getting new members to come in, but we tend to get away from the fellowship. We tend to get away from the teaching. We tend to think that once that Master Mason is raised, his education should end. And that's when his education really needs to start. So I want our new Master Masons, I'd like to see our new Master Masons enjoy the journey, learn, and our current Master Masons, when we raise somebody, take him on as your protege. I owe a deep, deep debt of gratitude to the brethren who were my mentors.
Right.
When I was raised. So, yeah, that's what I would say to our new Master Masons. Let's go ahead and take the time and learn and enjoy the journey. When brother Sam Sedgy calls you up and says, hey, let's go visit St. Paul's Lodge, get in the car and go visit St. Paul Lodge.
Well said. No, so Tyler, before I stop you there, I just want to interject before I forget this point. I think something that you hit home true to me, and you're right with the new Master Masons, but with the Master Masons being around for some time, I think you're just so on the point here. There have been a few occasions where I've seen us raise Master Masons and, years ago, and, that's it. Well done. You're in. Good job. And it's like, we expect to see you next month, the stated meeting.
Yeah. When masonry is supposed to be a lifetime of learning. I mean, you're seeking light for the rest of your life. That's what masonry is.
So I think,
or it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so I think it's incumbent on us to make efforts in taking on mentors, having apprentices who have just been risen. Not really apprentices, but taking on that mentor role for the new members, letting them know that they're not alone. Letting them know that they are part of that fraternal order. Text message, whether it's text message calls, whether it's picking up the phone, how you doing, how are things. Try to understand where some of these new guys are coming from. Sometimes find out that they may have, as you said, when you were in your days in the construction industry, working 12-hour days, 6 days a week, what's going on, and sometimes then you can build that rapport and build masonry that fits that particular brother. And then what we're talking about then is retainment. So we're great.
Right.
We've got the recruitment down to a certain extent. It's the retainment that we have to remember. And I think it's, having that discussion with everyone is what is the best ways to retain? How can we work as a team to retain these brothers and get them more involved in the lodge? And that's, what it really is, if I may dare say so, is getting to know them. Have a genuine get to know them, get to find out who they are, and be interested in the brothers who come in, and then you'll find out like, wow, this guy's pretty cool, and then you build that bondship, and so next time when you say, hey, there's a stated meeting, I'd love to see you there, they're there, and suddenly your lodge starts to grow, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, when you want them to come to like a third degree in different places, or you want to, go to a ride, suddenly you've got a small mini army of you guys running around. I just want to touch that point, right, Worshipful, Brother Angelo. So my last question to the 3-pronged question was, what would you say to Master Masons who are fathers who have sons who may be, young right now and not eligible to join, or those who are eligible to join, that what Demolay offers, and why would you encourage it through your actual genuine experience of going through it yourself with your son?
Well, Demolay, offers so much more than just sitting in a meeting room and doing their ritual. It offers so much more. Demolay is truly a well-rounded program. They teach these young men how to plan fundraisers, how to plan fun events, how to communicate, how to go out into the public and support public activities.
That's public speaking. These kids can run a meeting better than people. I've worked in the public sector, and these kids can run a meeting better than most people can. It's amazing.
And what truly is amazing, Billy and Sam, brother Billy, brother Sam, is when you see these young men that are 12 years old that first join, that they sit on their side of the room, and they're very shy, they're very timid. By the time they hit 15, 16 years old, they're taking command of the room.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow!
They are truly becoming young leaders. They take charge of the room. They take charge. They have no qualms about going up and speaking to somebody, or going up and controlling a situation. So that's more, that takes you to the next step, more than what the ritual is. And sometimes I like to say that these young men are taking that ritual to heart and absolutely living it every day.
That's epic. That's
great.
Any questions, Billy? This has been...
I've got a couple of things I'd like to cover first. First of all, well, so you're moving up the line pretty quick. So what would you, if you were Grandmaster coming up next year? I know you got a couple of lines. What would be your ideal? What would be your focus for your years, Grandmaster? It might change, but if it was coming up, what would be your focus as Grandmaster?
Well, right now, if it was coming up next year, and it's not, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm by no means ready.
Right.
but if it were coming up next year, I think the one thing that I would want to put as my goals is to leave it better than what I found it.
Mm-hmm.
To strive to make it stronger, to build better bonds, and to build better Masons. Not that we have any issues now, but that I just want to see it better than what it was yesterday.
That's well said. Very well said. Okay, and the last question I think I would have, I'm hoping, and from what I see from the numbers and what we can gather from our research, we have people listening that are not Masons. What would you say to those guys if you can catch just one guy that's not a Mason that would maybe tip him and make him join this fraternity? Do you have any words to say to that guy?
Yeah, this is an opportunity for you to learn to make yourself and your community better than what it is now. And I say yourself first because that's what we're always supposed to build on first, is ourselves. We're supposed to make ourselves better so that then we can go out into the real world, the outside world, outside of Freemasonry, and assist to make that world that much better.
Well,
so if you're looking to help in any way, Freemasonry is your goal and is what you should strive to become a part of.
I think
go on, Billy. Sorry.
Illinois is so diverse, and you travel like we all have. Illinois from north to south is so diverse, but Freemasonry covers it all. If you can become a Mason in your heart, you can make a difference no matter where you go. And brother, you hit the nail on the head. You can make a difference if you just put your heart out there and you do what's right.
And my final things that I want to just add on is as well, the ritual itself is profound, and I'm telling you, very few of us will get it in the first time, first degree, second degree, third degree, even in the first year. But once you start getting parts, and once you start memorizing the words, and once you start understanding how profound some of these words are, it makes you thoughtful, it makes you think, and it gives you a lot of reflection upon yourself, upon your family, even the codifications of the rule of thumb, which is universal in Masonry, which is God, family, business, then Masonry. Even that rule, I think, is just so powerful because it sets the standards of what your focus should be, and if you just focus on that, you just those things will make you a better person, not only to your faith, but also to your family, also to your business, whatever that may be, and also then to Masonry. So with that said, we've just gone past.
Well, let me just say one more thing, and I will. What I think, and maybe Brother Angelo can maybe expand on this. And I've only been a Mason for 10 years, and I know that's nothing compared to most of these guys out there, but I've done a lot of degree work, and I'm not the best ritualist in the world. I can do some parts, and what I do, I try to do the best I can do. But I've done a lot of rituals, or with degree work as much as I can to help these guys. But as many degrees as I do, every time I do degree work, I take something away from that degree work. It's like I hear it and I think, I take something away and I think, man, I've never understood that the way I understand it now. And I don't know how that works. It's just I take something new away from it every time. And it's fascinating, but that's the way it is. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. One of my mentors told me, God rest his soul now, he passed away quite a few years ago, but he always told me, you should never, ever stop learning. Mm-hmm. So when you do, then sit back and try and learn something else, because the day you stop learning is the day that you start dying. Yeah. So I know I was just at a third degree Tuesday night. one of the better third degrees that I've been to in quite a while. And I always take a moment when I'm at one of these third degrees to try and pick one lecture or one part of the ritual that I pay attention to so hard that I learn something new. And and Billy, you hit that spot on, my brother, that you're going to always learn something new from your degree work, your ritual, when you're giving it, or just sitting and listening.
Yeah, if you've heard it a million times, it's just something else you're taking from it. I don't know why, but it's crazy. But with that, I'd just like to thank you so deeply from the bottom of our hearts. You coming on, the Grand Lodge has really accepted us interviewing you guys, and we'd love to have you on again if you'd be willing. It's just, it means a lot for the people listening. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And I think your podcast that you guys are doing is great. I listen to it whenever you publish a new one. I really, really do enjoy what you're doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to On the Level Podcast, your Masonic podcast. When you are ready, duly and truly prepared, you can always knock on the door.